But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Planning to ride Metro Transit? Starting Saturday, August 22nd, quarterly service changes will take effect on some bus and rail routes. These regular updates help Metro Transit match service to customer needs and make the best use of available resources. Before you travel, check to see if your route is affected. Updated schedules and a summary of all service changes are available now at metrotransit.org. Again, find those changes at metrotransit.org.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 68, then Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 86. Farmer's Kitchen and Bar brings the flavors of the harvest to downtown Minneapolis, featuring selections like locally sourced poultry and wild rice meatballs. Farmer's Kitchen and Bar is located on 2nd Street next to the Guthrie Theater. Check them out at farmerskitchenandbar.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi, to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, in a little bit, we're going to have our friend Dr. Evan Adams on, and he's famous for doing a bumper on Native Roots Radio going, hey, Victor, you better be listening. Can't wait to talk to Dr. Evans and catch up with him and all the great work that he's done as a doctor. And, of course, my favorite movie, Smoke Signals, and over 100, I think, other productions he's been involved in, but we'll quiz him on that. But I want to jump right away and have our friend Sean Sherman, the Sioux Chef, and award-winning chef, award-winning person, author, restaurateur, just really happy to have Sean on. And we just wanted to talk about how I got out and voted today, and boy, there was a lot of people out there voting, and yeah, Sean's got his sticker too. Sean, let's just talk a little bit how important this election is and how happy we are to see so many people out there voting. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big day, and we just really are just backing Peggy Flanagan. She's a great friend. I just really believe she's going to be an amazing ally in Washington for us. And so we need that Native voice and Native blood in DC to vie for all of us. So it's a really important day to get her on that seat, so she could be on the ticket in the upcoming midterms. And so I think everybody should get out to vote. I think everybody should help other people get out to vote. And if it's your first time voting, ask somebody. It's easy to figure out where your voting polls are and what you need to bring with you. But it's a big day, and I hope that we can all be celebrating Peggy's victory tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And you have a couple things I want to touch base with you with. Is you have a new restaurant, you have a cookbook. I just wanted to let our people out there know an update about what's going on with you.
Yeah, we have a lot of things in motion, and Dihina by Wamni is up and going at the Guthrie Theater downtown Minneapolis. We've been keeping it pretty busy every single night. It's big, fresh new. We got that fresh restaurant smell going on right now, and we're really proud of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful space, and we just have lots of irons in the fire, and still working on a native barbecue restaurant this winter, and all sorts of projects moving forward.
Yeah, and I'm excited for what's coming up on the 30th at the fair, Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's great to see you and your organization leading that again. We missed it last year.
Yeah, it's been really amazing to have that place and hold on to that space to bring Indigenous Peoples Day to the Minnesota State Fair, because there hasn't been a lot of Native representation there over the years. And so we worked really hard to find that location and to bring community together to host that and to hold that. And so it's going to be a fun day on August 30th to be able to really showcase. So we just need all of our Native allies and communities out there that day supporting us.
Absolutely. Hey, one of the things too, I talked to Gary Farmer, and they're going to be playing at the West End Market Monday and Tuesday, the day after Indigenous Peoples Day. So it's great to see him with a Sokola. We'll be jamming, and there's always so many people there sitting there watching it. So I was excited. I was telling him to come early, but he's playing a gig somewhere else on Indigenous Peoples Day. Hey, I got a question for you, Sean. Have you ever met Dr. Evan Adams?
No, he was in the restaurant before we moved to the newer one. So he was in the older restaurant just pretty recently. I know we got a book for him, and the team was excited to get some photos with him. You brought him in there, so I unfortunately was out of town at that moment. So I have not, but I would love to, of course.
Well, hey, here he is. And I just want to say, Dr. Evan Adams, I appreciate you coming on. And I feel like really insignificant here. We have you and we have Sean on, and I just want to get you on. And I think it's really important too. We got a lot to catch up on, Dr. Adams, about all your great work and everything. But I'm so happy you came on here because it's kind of a thing where we want to, remind people to vote, but we also want to remind everyone that we're still human and we love doing things. So thank you for coming on. And here's Sean Sherman, the owner of that restaurant we went to that everybody loved and wanted to get an autograph from you.
What a wonderful night that was. Thank you, Sean. What a beautiful place and a lovely memory.
Thanks. When you come back, we have a brand new spot just a couple of doors down. So come and check out the new space. It's much larger so we can feed more people.
Wow, I can't wait. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to try and get him back up. He's got a documentary going on, and maybe in November again, we can get Dr. Adams up again. I'm stuttering, Sean, because again, I have two rock stars here. Do you have any questions for Dr. Adams before you go?
I'm just really excited to see work and work around Native nutrition, and we're about ready to release a Native nutrition guide for people that kind of spans everywhere. So we can be in Canada, we can be in the U.S., we can be anywhere. So really excited about that project of just bringing more resources for eating healthy, connecting with our ancestry, and just looking at a brighter future for all of us.
Oh, and so needed not just for physical health, but for spiritual and emotional health. We love some of those foods. They really bring us a lot of memories and comfort and bring us peace.
Absolutely. So happy to share that anytime.
Great.
Right on. Well, again, Sean, just a quick thing before you go, how important this election is and how great it would be to see our friend, Lieutenant Governor move on into the election. So really, Wendy and I got out to vote, and there was a lot of people out there voting. So it's pretty exciting to see that, because that's always good news for us progressives.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot of people going out there. There's a lot of energy behind Peggy, and again, we need that Native voice in DC, and she's going to be an amazing person to kind of help navigate through a lot of the challenges we have here in the U.S. And so whatever people can do to get out there and vote is just going to be really helpful right now, because we just want to see that victory party tomorrow for Peggy, and then we have another fight coming up, coming down the road for the midterms. So just get out there and vote.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sean. I know you're so busy, and I really appreciate you stopping in, meeting Dr. Evan Adams, but also talking about how the importance of voting. I really appreciate you stopping in.
Absolutely. Doksha, thanks for having me.
Hey, one more time about the restaurant and the cookbook.
Yeah, so Indígena is open. Indígena by Awamni is open at the Guthrie every day but Monday. So come on down. We're open lunch and dinner. And Turtle Island, the new cookbook that we wrote with Kristen Donnelly and Kate Nelson is out there on the shelves. So order it. It's got looking at Mexico through Alaska, erasing colonial borders and bringing us all together as Indigenous peoples, and just barely scratching the surface of how much more work we have to do out there to bring Native foods everywhere.
Wow. Again, thank you, Sean, for stopping in and really talking about the importance of health, but also the great work you've done in the community. And I really appreciate you stopping in and talking about how important it is to vote today, and also saying hello to Dr. Adams. That was fun for me.
Awesome. Great to meet you. Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll see you. Wow. That was cool. Sean Sherman, one of the rock stars here in Minnesota, Dr. Adams, and we're really happy. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to catch up and see what you've been up to. There's been a lot of things happening. I know you have family members winning awards, so it's going to be fun to catch up. Yeah. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Oh,
culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Native relatives, work requirements are coming to medical assistants, but American Indian people are exempt. If you have medical assistance, go to mn.gov/DHS/American Indian to report that you are American Indian. If you apply for medical assistance, report that you are American Indian on your application. It's that easy. Checking the box protects your health and your insurance. Again, go to mn.gov/DHS/American Indian.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible Indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are with our friend Dr. Evan Adams, and you may know him from the bumper music that we play that has Dr. Adams so graciously used, and we use that almost every day here on Native Roots Radio. And I know him as a great person and an actor of one of my favorite movies, Smoke Signals, and but you've been a doctor for many years, and I just checking in. How have you been, and what have you been up to? Your son won a big award. Your buttons were bursting. Let's talk a little bit. Great to see you.
Hey, Robert, it's been way too long. Way too long.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you coming on. So, what have you been up to? You were threatening to retire? Have you retired?
Yeah, I'm close to retiring. As you know, I've worked as an actor and as a doctor, and I became an actor as a way to avoid the responsibilities of my studies. Like I think any res kid, I was told you have to get an education and help the people. And when I was a teenager, that seemed like a pretty heavy burden, and acting just seemed like so much fun. And once I got my first role, I think I was 18 or something like that. Gosh, almost 40, well, more than 40 years ago. And I had a wonderful time, but eventually, like after I did Smoke Signals, and it really was a joy to play Thomas, but I really knew that I wanted to give being a doctor a chance. I wanted to work with the people. And so my whole career has been like this weird balance between medicine and doing parts here and there, which I've always really, really loved. And it's time for me to retire from, well, at least one of my doctor jobs, maybe more. Part of me wants to be maybe a little more creative going forward.
Yeah, well, it was excellent, and I have to comment on your humility. And I know Smoke Signals was only a short part of your life, and people here, when we did go to Owamni, were just ecstatic. When we were at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, people were just ecstatic. A rock star, and you were it surprised me how humble and surprised you seemed that people still hold a big flame for your character, which is so iconic. I can watch the movie right now and get teared up and laugh and do the same things I did from the original time I saw it. And one of the things, I think I told you this, I was on a Delta flight to New York, and Smoke Signals was on the movie thing, and that really was cool to see.
Yeah, and that was recently, right? Like we shot that movie in 1997, and I can't believe it. You can still see it. I've heard a few airlines are still carrying it this many years later. And if you had told me when I was doing it that, well, first of all, that it would get noticed at all when it was first released, and then for it still to have an audience, almost 30 years later, I would have said, no way, people aren't that interested in Indians. So it's not a bad thing to be remembered for. That's for sure.
Well, I reached out to Gary. Gary's coming into Minnesota during this state fair, and they'll be playing. And I reached out to see if he wanted to jump on real quick and say hello. But he was playing. He was in a concert, and he wanted to say a big hello to you. And I know you two are still, all these years later, great friends. And so that was fun.
I love Gary so much. He has such a big heart, and we've been friends for a long time, and I just marveled when I was cast in Smoke Signals and watching him play Victor's dad, and it was actually frightening watching him work, his commitment, his ferocity. I was actually quite scared of him, and it wasn't until a little bit later, like about a year later, we did a comedy together, and he was the Gary that I knew. But yeah, on Smoke Signals, he scared me to death, and I think he has some real lived experience and some harsh truths that he brings to his performances and to his art, and I just have so much respect and admiration for him.
Well, he's done a lot of stuff, but one of the things in Smoke Signals too, the whole kind of vignette that he had about playing the Jesuit in basketball with him and Victor. That was like really iconic and almost award-winning kind of thing. So I know what you mean there.
Yeah, there's some of those scenes, because I did get to see Smoke Signals recently on the big screen in my kind of like the city closest to where I grew up, Vancouver, Canada. They had the film version. I got to see it, and there was a Q&A with the audience, and I got to see some of those phenomenal scenes. Like when you're making a film, you're making these little pearls, these little scenes, hoping that, you know, they'll be good. And sometimes you hope that they'll be absolutely stunning. And if you're lucky, a few of the pearls in the necklace or a few of those scenes will be incredible. But Smoke Signals really does have some extraordinary stuff, including that basketball scene with Gary Farmer. And if you all can't remember it, definitely go back and see it. It is iconic. And yeah, Gary delivers just a near perfect performance.
You know, I asked you this when you were in Minneapolis, and who were you channeling for your character in Smoke Signals? Because the stories, the way you told them, and those were iconic to me, is when you were telling stories, whether it was about, you know, he was on the cover of Time and Life magazine, you know, and then the stories that you told, well, through the whole movie.
Well, I was very lucky. Well, I grew up at home, so I was around a lot of those elders and knowledge keepers and the storytellers. And then I was so lucky to get to go to a Native theater school where I was encouraged to not just do Romeo and Juliet and Shakespeare and English theater and American television style work, but to, you know, to tell stories in our way. So I actually had been wrestling with, you know, what makes a great Indian storyteller for a very long time. And there was a woman in my community. She actually eventually became my kind of like a mother-in-law, my sister's husband's mother. So she became like family. So I was remembering how phenomenal she was. And she would take simple lines like, mink was half in the boat and half out of the boat. And you could just see the image with how she described it. And I thought, how does she do that? Let me try and figure that out. And then I had this very oddball cousin named Sunny, who was really sweet-natured, but a lot of people found him very peculiar. And I always found him just phenomenally interesting. And so I was thinking of him, and it was quite painful, difficult work playing Thomas. And in the end, I just had to play him like he was the most beautiful elder that you've ever met, an elder who would die for you because they just love you so much. That's how good and pure he was. So I couldn't watch Smoke Signals for years, because the experience of playing Thomas, playing this beautiful elder, versus how he looked in the film, it was very jarring, and I much preferred the reality that I had lived than what the camera captured. That's for sure.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's beautiful. I just I just loved when we went to Owamni, and how the kitchen staff was just so enamored and wanted to come out and get pictures with you. And of course, when we did the Minneapolis Institute of Art and had the showing of Smoke Signals, it was during a huge snowstorm, and people still came out, and it was just beautiful how they react to the movie, and how they reacted to your character, and how they react to you because of the character.
Yeah, I'm still surprised when anyone even recognizes me, and I'm actually always surprised when people say, "Oh, you're that actor," and I think, wow, I spend so many hours of my week being a doctor, and of course, being a doctor is really hard work, right? Like, I have way more people coming up to me saying, "Hey, I saw you in that movie," than they say, "Hey, you helped my family once as a doctor." And I'm still like, people still think of me as an actor and not as a doctor. It's kind of funny. Even other doctors say, "Oh, yeah, you're that actor guy."
Well, one of the things, Dr. Adams, I believe too, is that you've been in over, I think, wasn't it 80 80 productions, TV and film.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work, and I may not be the best actor in the world, but I really feel like I had some, a broad spectrum of experiences, and I really did my best because I love it. I love acting, and I don't know why. I've definitely had people say to me, "There's something weird about you that you like acting so much," and then I think, well, considering what hobbies some other people have that are, maybe not so nice, or people can have bad habits. So I think being an actor isn't bad, and I just can't deny it that I just really, really love it. So even now, as I'm about to retire from being a doctor, my heart is saying, "Yay! I get to act more, and I get to do a bit more of this and that." And I'm not really kind of driven by any kind of desire to be a star or anything. If my friends are doing a film and they want me to play a little tiny role, I'll just do it because I love them and I want to support their vision. And it's also a lot of work being a lead, so being a supportive player is pretty cool. So anyway, I'm working as an actor a lot these days.
Well, hey, I know Ajawak was talking to me or talked to us over many times that he was so enamored and surprised that you were in his movie when you guys both were doing makeup, and he had the same reaction that many people, including me, have when we see you and talk to you. Hey, we got another segment. Is that okay, Dr. Adams?
Yeah, great.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Ho! Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
This evening, AM 950 brings you live updates from primary elections. Beginning tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll cut into our evening programming during commercial breaks to keep you informed. And when major contested races are called, we'll break right into our shows to bring you the results. Hosted by John Parker and Matt McNeil, we're covering all the big races, including for governor, U.S. Senate, congressional seats, the state legislature, and even key out-of-state results. You can also stream our live updates tonight on AM 950's Facebook and YouTube pages. Again, election updates begin tonight at 8 o'clock.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. I know no one wants to talk about this, but summer is going to be winding down already, and we're all going to be rushing to make the most of the month before State Fair time arrives. While we're trying to cram in as much of that final summer fun as we can, don't forget to stop and smell the flowers. But if you realize what you actually smell is the carpet, you gotta call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to freshen up the late summer feeling. Zero Res can take care of almost any surface in your home: carpet, tile, rugs, hardwood, upholstery, and much more. If it's been months since your last deep clean, it's time to call. Zero Res is marking the end of summer with this amazing sale. Buy 2 rooms of carpet cleaning and get 2 rooms of carpet for free, plus 20% off all air duct cleaning services. Call 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res. With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 68, then Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 86. Farmer's Kitchen and Bar brings the flavors of the harvest to downtown Minneapolis, featuring selections like locally sourced poultry and wild rice meatballs. Farmer's Kitchen and Bar is located on 2nd Street next to the Guthrie Theater. Check them out at farmerskitchenandbar.com.
AM 950 KTN up, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and hey, we are here with our friend, Dr. Evan Adams. Really just great to catch up and get a really cool insight about his past work and also where he's at, getting close to retiring as a doctor. And Dr. Adams, one of the things I wanted to do is get our producer on, Misko, and she's a young woman warrior here that's producing Native Roots Radio now. And we always are looking for the next 7 generations and the next leaders. And so I thought it'd be important for me to ask her to come on and join in and maybe ask a question or two. Misko, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Bonjour, I'm Misko. Give me one additional cause. Hello, my name is Misko. I'm super excited and ecstatic to be here and have the opportunity to talk to Dr. Adams. He's been very influential, I'd say, in Native media, as well as the rest of the cast. And I've gotten the opportunity to talk to Gary Farmer in the past, over a similar platform. And so just, again, having this opportunity to speak to you and listen to you speak is it's amazing for me.
Well, I'm so happy to meet you. You're so young. I probably shouldn't put it that way, but you're so young to be doing this work, and it makes me so happy. I hope you have a big, long career doing this kind of work, and you're so very welcome.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I was just enjoying hearing how you got started in your teens. And that's when I got into media. Robert was my teacher in video production all throughout my high school years. And then I worked with him through an art store. And then now I work doing production, and I'm hoping to progress. I really love being behind the camera and producing, but I'm not shy to come on the screen. But I guess one question that I have, for young Indigenous people who are interested in medicine, acting, writing, or other creative careers, what advice would you give them?
Oh gosh, I feel like if that's the thing that you love, then you absolutely must go there. I'm surprised how shy some people are to chase their dreams. For me, it was really quite natural. It's like, well, I have an interest there. Let me spend some time there. Even if I find out that I'm terrible at it, and I'm terrible at a lot of things. So I've tried a lot of things that I had really no talent for. And then you find out some things you have an ease with, and you absolutely have no idea why. Or some that you just love. It just is no work at all to do that kind of stuff. So I feel like, listen to your inner voice, or, your inner spirit, or that drive, that spirit within you, whatever is moving you, you have to really kind of listen and hear it. And I think that's really a natural part of kind of growth, is to hear, what's going on inside of me, what do I really like. And it's going to be so different for every person. Anyway, I'm so glad you're doing this, and because there aren't that many of us in media arts. I wish there were more of us. I have 6 kids, and I wish more of them had pursued media arts, because it's all like extraordinary learning.
Yes, I agree. And I guess my next question, kind of related to what you brought up, is what gives you hope right now when you look at the future of Indigenous communities and the next generation?
Yeah, the world is changing, isn't it? It's different than when I was growing up. I can't believe how much racism and sexism and homophobia that I grew up with. It's a lot better now, in part because there are so many really great young people like you, whose eyes and ears and hearts are open. It's just a better time. So that gives me hope. I recently, and I'm actually calling in from Hawaii, because I work in Hawaii a lot with Native Hawaiian physicians. And so I'm a guest in their beautiful territories. And I'm learning a lot about being a good ally. I guess I used to know something about being an ally. I grew up with 4 sisters. So, being a feminist meant that, I could cheer them on, but I didn't quite know how to do that really, really well. Well, I'm here now in their beautiful territory as an uninvited guest. One or two of them might say, no, you're an invited guest, but I'm here working, and I'm learning to see the ally in me. Like I can be supportive, play a supportive role, and be good and kind. And watching them and their mentorship, like some of my friends here, they teach Native Hawaiian physicians. I just adore that aloha that they bring. And I guess too, I'm learning not just to be a good ally, but to be a better mentor. I do know that it takes a lot to create a strong, skilled, experienced person. Like it takes a lot of teachers, and I should definitely be doing my part. So, Robert, I'm glad that you're mentoring Misco and helping move things along and doing your part, because I'm sure you had some great mentors and teachers too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I did do is I went back when I became a teacher. I went back and talked to former teachers I looked up to, and for nothing more than just saying you'll be great, and hearing that from people that I admire was meant the world to me.
Yeah, I had a really strong father, and he was constantly talking at me about how to be a strong person, an honest person, to stick up for myself and for others, to be brave with what I say, to be disciplined. And he probably put that spark in me about, yeah, how do you help people get to a better place? And certainly as a doctor, I mean, we do diagnosis and treatment, but a lot of what we do is we cheer people on in their journeys, tell them, everything's going to be fine. I know this is not the news that you expected, but we're going to get through this.
Wow, that's amazing. What are the parallels of being a doctor and an actor? Help me out here, because I mean, as an actor, you're feeling feelings and reacting to them and bringing them out through a character. As a doctor, are you building empathy to talk to people about what's going on with them? How do you feel like the parallels are for your career and who you are now?
Sure. Well, I got a couple of things. I think I'm very sensitive, which helps me as an actor, but it helps me be empathetic as a doctor and not be harsh, and to be, kind to people. Often I see people at their worst, right? When they're having a really, really painful, difficult time. I think it's partly being able to walk with someone and to really see them. I've heard from patients that, they don't care how smart I am. They want to see that I see them, that I can be sympathetic. I remember I had a patient with cancer and I said, okay, let's talk about your care plan. And she said, no, I want to speak to my sister. And I said, well, okay, but that can wait. And that's not really my job. My job is, your cancer care. And she insisted. And I said, okay, that's what's important to you. And so that's what's important to me. And of course, I think Indians all over Turtle Island are very sophisticated. They have many wants and needs. They're on a journey. They see many realities at once. And so, yeah, of course, she was concerned about her care, but she's also concerned about her sister, and she was concerned about her kids. And, so anyway, all of that kind of sophistication, I think that's part of how I grew up around people. I saw people when I was a kid on the res in the middle of their pregnancies and their family dramas and their health issues, and good things would happen to them and bad things would happen to them. And I would be there just close by and being part of that. So anyway, I feel like as a doctor, it's very natural for me to hear from patients and say, yeah, let's find you some help.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing. And Wendy was a HIV pharmacist at the U of M. And there was many times that she had to sit in and talk to people about that were just finding out that they had HIV. And it was a hard place to be, but, have empathy and just, say that things are going to be okay, really help out. And I have a quick story that, a lot of our relatives don't trust doctors too. And she was when she would talk to Native Americans that just found out that they were HIV positive, she would ask them what tribe they are, what reservation, and knock these walls down, because she's white, and knock these walls down by one brick at a time and say, well, my husband's Ho-Chunk. And then they would, lighten up and talk to her. And so that always warmed my heart when I heard that story from Wendy.
Yeah, I remember the 80s, and it was a really tough time. But I really related to those patients because I had a maternal grandfather and a paternal grandmother who died from TB, an infectious disease. And of course, infectious diseases ravaged our peoples. It's part of our history, and it wasn't too long ago. There have been, waves of infections like smallpox and TB and HIV that have really changed our lives. So it seemed pretty natural for me in the 80s to try and listen to people when so many others were just so mean about it. I wish, so how do I then, as a mentor, explain that to younger people who weren't there? Probably Misco, because you have the same, history as Robert and I, like, Indian history in the Americas. It's probably much easier for you to hear those stories. But how do I teach that to a young medical learner? I remember that infectious disease, that plague, and it affected us.
Yeah. Hey, we got one more segment. Do you mind just hanging out with us for another segment, Dr.
Great.
Adam?
Great.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Ho-ah.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
The Montessori American Indian Child Care Center is a Native-led nonprofit child care center located in Roseville. Our mission is to create access to high-quality early learning in the American Indian community and build a strong cultural foundation that prepares children and families for their K-12 education experience. Learn more and donate at maiccmn.org. That's maiccmn.org.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. We are here with Dr. Evan Adams and our producer Misko, and we're just finishing this up. I just want to let everybody know too that tonight on AM 950, and that's the station in the Twin Cities, and I know Civic Media, you'll be doing your own thing on the election. They're going to have a coverage tonight with Matt McNeil and John Parker starting at 8. There will be election updates during the commercial breaks of the evening shows too. So really important here. I just got to give a quick shout out to our Lieutenant Governor one more time, Peggy Flanagan. Go get them. And the polls are open till 8, so you still have time to go out and vote. Hey, again, I just want to say a big Pinigigi, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. I think sometimes we have to think about other things and the bad things that are happening and stuff. So it's really, really important that we're coming. We're talking about a lot of fun things and what you've been doing, Dr. Adams. And of course, Misko and I are enamored with you. We're like, oh, smoke signals, but you've done so much more, and you are a doctor, and you've helped so many more people. And you've helped many people with your art as an actor too. So again, thank you so much for coming on.
I thank you so much. I find it funny that sometimes when I'm at work, people will say, "Oh, you're that guy. You're that guy. What are you doing here?" And I have to explain. Well, actually, I'm a doctor now, and let's talk about you. In fact, once I had a Native man who had been stabbed, and he survived. He was fine. Mm-hmm. But his daughters were there, and they were like trying to get selfies with me while I was helping their dad. And I had to say, you need to stop this, and you need to get out of the way so that I can help your dad. That was so bizarre. That was such a strange time.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. So, Misko, do you got any more questions? Because again, I really like to engage her, because someday I'll be moving on, and there's young ones that have to take on the next the next thing for the next generation. So it's always, I just want to engage her.
Yeah, once again, Chimi Guch, thank you, Dr. Evan Adams, for joining us today. Not only have you paved the way for young Indigenous people and Indigenous people in general to use their voices, but you've also navigated what it's like to become a doctor and being a physician. And I guess my last question is more health related. So what is maybe a message that you want to give to Native people about wellness, and what does wellness look like to you, whether that be spiritual, physical, mental, or emotional? Miigwech.
Yes, wellness has many dimensions, and it's actually quite a lot of maintenance work. It's like keeping your temple, keeping your house in order, and it does require some discipline. So things like, because in our way, we were careful about how much we ate. We were, like, I was literally taught when I was small to not eat more than the size of my hand. And we were taught to exercise. And even when, my teachers would be like, "You're 11 years old. Your dad makes you go for a run." It's like, yeah, don't all dads make their sons go for a run? My dad would make me swim in the cold water. He knew that would make me stronger. And why people are like, "Oh, cold water, that's going to make your heart stop." And I'd say, no, my heart hasn't stopped yet. So we were taught definitely how to be well in our bodies, but we were also taught to be well in our hearts and our minds. Be careful what you think, be careful what you say, be kind, be humble, be respectful, bring good things with you. Don't be ugly. And I can't believe how many times I have to say that to people. Don't be ugly. And because I thought it was just a lesson that we all knew. But I catch myself thinking and saying ugly things, and I think that it's a sign that my health is under strain. And I think the most difficult lesson for me was to be well spiritually, that I was actually on a spiritual journey. I wasn't just a busy worker or a busy dad with 1,000 things to do, that I needed to do good things with myself. And so that's been absolutely the hardest lesson. And I think my emotional health, I think all of our emotional health, is constant work, because it's so surprising, right? Because I think our emotional health so often doesn't involve our brain, and so I have to listen to the elders. And one of my favorite bits of advice from a mentor here in Hawaii was to know the birds I hear in the morning. And that has been such great advice, to be present. And how can I live in a place with these beautiful birds and their bird song, and not know their names, or not stop and hear them when they're playing? So so I think that wellness is constant attention, constant rigor and discipline. And just go for it. It when you have your health, it is the most wonderful thing. And now at my, I'm almost 60, I've never felt better.
Wow, great question, Misko, really, and great answer. Well, we got just a couple minutes left, Doctor. We're here with Dr. Evan Adams, and what's up next for you? Do you have anything happening acting wise that's coming up that you want to bring up, or is there any anniversaries? I know there's some movies that you've done in the past. There's big anniversaries coming up.
Well, I don't know why we celebrate Smoke Signal's anniversary every year. We shot it in 1997, and it came out in 1998. So we'll have some big anniversaries in the next year or two. And I just did a movie with Jennifer Beals called Survivors, which was a kind of a crime drama. I just got a call this morning. "Evan, are you interested in a horror movie?" I've done one horror movie once, and it was kind of fun. So part of me's thinking, maybe it's time to do a horror movie. I did do a documentary recently that's been doing the film festival circuit, called Namesake, about changing place names in the Americas back to traditional place names. Mm-hmm. And last of all, I have a new movie called How We Stand, that will be opening at the Toronto International Film Festival, and TIFF is one of the biggest film festivals in the world. So I'm pretty excited for that to come out. So I'm still working as an actor a bit, and I look forward to all the other stuff in my private life, like retiring from physicianhood and watching my kids, all 6 of them, doing their work. I have one who's a choreographer and one who's a singer/engineer, and I still have my mom, and I still love my culture and where I live. So all of those are wonderful things that I'm all getting to, and I wish all of you that, a really wide breadth of experiences for sure.
Well, I just have to say a big Pinigigi, thank you so much for being on. And these are times that we need to have a nice conversation about the past, present, and the future and health. And I really am so happy on this kind of stressful day here in the United States with all these primaries going on that we were able to talk and have fun and reminisce and talk about the future and talk about health. I am just so happy that you were able to come on tonight.
Well, you've been so kind, Robert. Thanks for staying connected to me, because I think that's very, very human and very good of you, because it's easy for us all to be rushing around and not minding each other. And you've always been such a good friend.
Wow. So, what great words. And hopefully we'll see you here in Minneapolis when in November and get you back up here for some anniversary movies or maybe your documentary, but we'll keep talking.
Yay. Yes, let's do it.
All right. Thank you. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, and join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the 7th generation. See you tomorrow.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin